What's up guys, welcome to Munchkin's Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkin's logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And welcome back to another Should You Pull video, where I give you my opinions for upcoming banners coming to the global version of the game. In today's video, we are going to take a look at Dark Knight Cecil's LD banner, or if you want to call it the first boss rush banner. Now before we do start, like and subscribe if you haven't already, because it does help the channel and I would really appreciate it if you do. And now without further ado, let's start this video. So we'll start this video off with Dark Knight Cecil's rework. It's actually a pretty small rework. Darkness just gets an increase in brave hits. Valiant Blow gets an increase as well in the brave hits, and the plus variant of Valiant Blow gets an increase on the brave hits as well as adding a 50% splash damage to non-targets. Now as for his call ability, you get the Valiant Blow call. This is going to do a 4-hit Dark Melee Brave plus HP attack with a 150% max Brave overflow, and this will also increase the Brave gain based on the HP damage dealt, as well as increasing the party's Brave by 20% of the HP damage dealt. This will consume 40% of his own HP and will still initiate the chase sequence. Now let's take a look at his LD ability called Soul Eater. With all the passives included, this will have 3 total uses and will raise his own attack and max Brave by 60% total, and will do a 6-hit Dark Range Brave plus HP attack twice, and with a 120% max Brave overflow limit, as well as having a small 20% HP splash damage to non-targets, and will increase his own Brave by 30% of the total HP damage dealt to the target. This will inflict 6 turns of a Dark Imperil debuff and 8 turns of Lunar Mystique. Now Lunar Mystique will be a new unique debuff. This will steal the Brave, or I guess you can call it poison or sap, by 10% of the max Brave, and will increase the HP damage taken by 20%. This will also grant him 4 turns of Power of Darkness and Light Within Darkness, and this will consume 60% of his own HP and will also delay all the targets by 1 turn. The thing with this one, it has no action delay, so she gets to have a turn straight away. And with that in mind, what do I think of Dark Knight Cecil considering his rework and his new LD ability? Honestly guys, Dark Knight Cecil, actually, this feels like a very minor rework, but it feels a pretty good rework for Dark Knight Cecil. The thing was, you're always trying to justify his HP dropping down to do the damage that he's doing. Now, before you can sort of say, oh, yeah, the launch is pretty good and it does a decent damage, but now with the extra splash damage, I think he can justify that a little bit more than he used to. I still think his skill 2 is a very powerful ability, with obviously a drawback to reducing his own HP. So you still need to kind of baby him a little bit. You know, he's still a pretty risky character to bring along, especially in, like, you know, Lavinia fights and stuff like that, or harder content when you might get hit with a good HP damage. So having a good tank like Warrior of Light that can prevent damage, or Gladio as well, who can lower the HP damage and of course protect Dark Knight Cecil, is probably a good idea. However, there is still a very hyperactive offensive party composition that Dark Knight Cecil can be a part of. As we all know, launch is a pretty strong sequence, and you know, if you time it right, or if you have the right party composition, you can definitely deal a ton of damage. Having Cloud there, who can do his own launch himself and can also delay, as well as having Keys and maybe even Lael later down the track when he gets his burst weapon. But at the moment, Lael can still do a pretty decent amount even without his LD or burst. So I do feel like if you feel like having a very offensive oriented party composition, it's still pretty doable. However, you do have to be careful, as Dark Knight Cecil tends to be pretty fragile because of his abilities obviously dropping his own HP. Maybe having a little bit of HP regen might help. It's all up to you, because at the end of the day, it's your party composition. I'm just telling you guys different ways to work around this certain character. Alright guys, so we're towards the end of this video, and there's only one question remains: should you pull? Honestly speaking, if you still don't have Furion's Burst and you're really after it, Dark Knight Cecil is actually a pretty decent character to bring along. Plus, like I said, if you are a offensive orientated player, you probably really would benefit from having Dark Knight Cecil. Again, he has certain party compositions that can deal a ton of damage, and if you like, you can also bring, you know, Furion along. He can definitely heal, and hopefully you don't get up to more than 50% of his HP though, because he needs that less than 50% HP in order to get the plus variance of his abilities, and which is what you're after. So at the end of the day, I think this is going to be a maybe for me, and you really need to look at your own resources, and of course, do you actually need someone who can Dark Imperil, can launch and stuff like that. You can definitely use tickets for this one, and I think it's really up to you if you want to save your gems or use them as you see fit. Now, if you already pulled for X-Death, you probably, like me, who is running a little bit low on resources, and you're probably waiting to know who is the next global first LD weapon. So yeah, it's a bit of a toss-up in here. I would probably wait to see who's the next LD first character, global first character again, and maybe come back to this banner later down the track if I don't like who it is. At this point in time, we actually don't know when they're going to announce it. I'm guessing it's going to be towards the end of January, and hopefully they actually let us know who it is. The next banner is going to be, at least if we go with the JP timeline, is going to be including Ramses LD and Burst Weapon, which again can be a nice addition or a nice party composition to go alongside with Dark Knight Cecil, because he's another character that gets an LD that can initiate chase, and you know, you get increased party brave and do tons of damage while you're doing launch. So that is definitely something to really consider. But yeah, at this point in time, that's only if we are following the JP timeline. Like I said, we are expecting to get the next global first LD character, and yeah, it's really going to be up to you guys. If you want to wait it out and see what the announcement is, or just pull ahead in this if you do have the resources for it. And of course, if he's a favorite character of yours, then go ahead and pull. I mean, he's gonna be very useful, and you know, again, if you're very offensive orientated and you like to have no turns, blah blah blah, and all those stuff, Dark Knight Cecil is a very good pickup character. Alright guys, I think I'll end the video right here. Please do once again remember to click like and subscribe if you haven't already, because it does help the channel, and I would really appreciate it if you do. You can always follow me on Facebook and on Twitter at Munchkins Gaming. Leave down in the comments below, are you planning to pull on Dark Knight Cecil straight away, or are you planning to wait it out and see who the next global first LD character is going to be? Let me know down in the comments below. And this is Munchkins logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next level.